Hey guys, I've been playing the game a lot recently again, and what I've noticed is that the quality of matches, like how good my opponents are, is really at an all-time low, and I think it's necessary and a good starting point to step up my educational content when it comes to Pokemon TCG Pocket, because a lot of people, they need help. They need to get a little bit of coaching, not only when it comes to deck building, but also when it comes to how to play the game. Actually, they make tremendous mistakes. They lose games that they should easily win, and yada yada, you get the point. So let's start off by talking about deck lists, deck building, and what decks should you play and why. Alright, so which decks should you play and how should you build them? That is very, very simple. You just play the meta. The meta consists of 3 decks, and you play these 3 decks if you actually aim to win games consistently and not look like an absolute idiot, which no one of us wants, I guess. So that is very easy. Just in case you don't know what decks are meta, I can just tell you really quick. It's Darkrai, Palkia, and Gyarados. Those 3 decks are the decks that you play if you want to win the game. And if, in case you don't know how these deck lists exactly look like, you can check out my previous videos. I've covered everything. I made tier lists. I show you the best deck lists that are, by the way, confirmed by analyzing the biggest tournaments in the world. And those, we take the data from those and analyze them. So this is the best data you can possibly get, and this data is analyzed by professionals, and therefore we know the factual truth as to what decks and deck lists are the best. That's how it is, if you like it or not. So pick one of those 3 deck lists and play them exactly how they are, and here's why. It's you like, for example, look at this Darkrai EX deck list. This is a deck list that is 100% to its core absolutely perfect. There's not a single card that you can switch out here. If you, for some weird dumb reason, decide to switch out one of these cards right here, then this deck list's win rate already goes down the drain. And you might be right now like, oh, come on, Straw, just one card, this is not as much of a big deal, or you should throw curveballs to not be as predictable. No, this is all nonsense, okay? So let me tell you why. Curveballs, they don't exist, right? Counters to decks, in Darkrai's case, that also does not exist. Darkrai is a deck that cannot be countered for very simple reasons, Want to go over them real quick? Sure. Look, many people think, for example, that Yanmega EX is a counter to Darkrai because 120 damage, and thanks to Darkrai's weakness, he would one-shot. Yanmega would one-shot the Darkrai, which is absolutely not true. First of all, Darkrai sits on the bench for the most part of the game, and also you can increase Darkrai's HP with Giant Cape. That's the whole reason we play the Giant Cape here, to prevent said one-shots from Infernape. There's a lot of Pokemon that hit for 150 and 140. Like, look, Palkia, Gyarados, and so on and so forth. The meta one-shots Darkrai. Anyways, you don't even need to play the Yanmega. It's completely nonsense, okay? So keep that in mind. And we play the Giant Cape here to prevent us from getting exactly one-shot like this, because then we have 160 HP and not 140, so nothing one-shots us anymore. And the point that I'm trying to get across here is leave your bubble. Leave this thought process alone of you think something is better and blah blah blah. Just really look at the facts, look at the win rates, and build the deck lists that are proven factually correct and to be the best deck list. Just build them and learn how to play them to the maximum efficiency that you can, again, leave this bubble of you think something is better, or you are smarter than everyone else, or what you want is better, and blah blah blah. Forget about this. Focus your thought process on analysis and proven facts. Yeah, leave this bubble of you think, you believe, whatever. Leave it alone and build what is factually the best, and learn how to play this to the best of your ability. That way you will become a better player really fast and improve your win rate drastically, okay? And again, in case you don't know where to look for, like how do I find out what the best decks are, and you don't want to go over all this process of analysis, or you don't know how to gather data, that is not what you need to worry about. That is why I have a YouTube channel. That all of this is covered on my channel. I do the job for you. I show you what the best is. I'm not one of those that spread misinformation, or I do stuff for clout and for a lot of clicks. No, I don't care about this stuff at all, you know. So yeah, if you don't know what the best deck lists are, what the best decks are, you can find this on my channel very easily. Okay, so you can skip the process and yeah, just look at what the best is, easily find out what the best is, and then learn how to play this to the best of your ability to improve yourself as a player very fast and drastically. And let me touch on this point of why is every single card in this deck absolutely perfect, and why can we not make any changes here. A very good example to make you understand what I'm talking about is with Cyrus and Sabrina. That is actually a very good example that I can make here, because look, let's say you take out that Cyrus and you don't play a Cyrus, but instead you play like 2 Sabrinas, okay? Now, what that leads to is you miss the game-winning KO very often, because now you cannot pull that Pokemon back in that he retreated to save him from getting KO'd. You know, you deal 20 damage every turn with Druddigon, with Darkrai, and yeah, Magnezone threatens the KOs already and stuff. You know, so players, they will retreat their Pokemon from saving from getting KO'd, and that Pokemon will be left damaged on their bench. So you can now pull them back in with Cyrus and get, when it's time, and get the game-winning KO on that Pokemon. With Sabrina, you would most likely not be able to do that, because he can just send out another Pokemon into the active, and then you don't get the KO on what you actually wanted. So you don't win the game there, and since you don't win the game there, you now take a risk that the game turns itself on its head and you actually lose. See, already you have reduced your win rate dramatically, because yeah, this will happen quite often. So that's why you cannot like put out any card here. You have to play this exact deck list, right? That was just one reason, you know. I will not go over every single card here and every single scenario, that is obvious. But I guess, yeah, the example that I made was just good enough to make you understand why you need to play this exact deck list, how it is right here. Okay, yeah, so this video will be about why it's so important to play the best decks in the game, why to play the meta, and why every single card is extremely important. So I want to emphasize this point one more time, just in case, and give you an example out of the real world. In Pokemon TCG Pocket, there is this thing called tempo advantage. And tempo advantage is not only important in Pokemon TCG Pocket, it is one of the highest priorities you can possibly have in every single game. In a lot of games, it's even a #1 first priority to take care of. Like, kind of in Pokemon TCG Pocket as well, but yeah, Darkrai is a tiny little bit different, but it doesn't matter, you know. Tempo is speed, and tempo is something really important, no matter in what game, what sport, or whatever you do in real life. Even it is speed and tempo. Being faster than your opponents, faster than the competition, is a huge, gigantic game-winning advantage, you know. So let me give you an example out of the real world, which, yeah, let's talk about an actual car race. Since we just talked about the speed in Pokemon TCG Pocket, having the tempo advantage is really important. You see, this is exactly like, look at your deck as your car and the individual cars as your tires. So if you want to attend a race, that you aim to win, then you will pick the best and the fastest and the best car that is available to you. If you wouldn't pick the best and the fastest car available to you, you would already make a huge mistake that will lead to you not winning the race, most likely, before the race even began, and that's why you have, in Pokemon TCG Pocket, have to play the meta. You have to choose the best deck to give you the highest chance of winning. Exactly like in car races. You pick the best and the fastest car to give you the highest chance of winning the race. That is logic, right? You don't want to be stuck there with like something really bad, something that is just slow and not good enough. Like, you will never win the race then, but your aim is to win the race. And why should you aim for this? First of all, to not look like an idiot, no one wants that. Again, that is very easy to understand. And winning is fun, Sure, you can play some dog shit and lose and look like an absolute idiot. Fantastic. Maybe you even win some games against the little Timmies that are out there. And then you feel good about that because you do not abuse the meta, blah, 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 blah. Like, in the end, what it comes down to is you're an idiot and you are bad at a simple dumbed down kids game, and you don't want that, and that's why you should play what is actually good. You pick the good deck, the fast deck, not you pick the good car and the fast car to win the race. And that's the same logic in Pokemon TCG Pocket. You play the best deck, you play the fastest deck, and then you are able to win and not look like an idiot. Easy as that. And keep in mind, that is also very, very important. And this emphasizes again why every single card is important. You see, you can pick the best car that is available to you. But if this car now, your deck, is not set up perfectly, like let's say there is one tire is damaged, or your tires in general are not good enough to make the car to run at full speed at all times, or you know the point, you get the point here. So that is why every single card, every single copy of each card here is key, is super important, right? Really, like, I want to put as much emphasis on that as I possibly can. I think you realize that at this point. So yeah, please keep that in mind, how important every single copy of every single card is in your deck. Only then, if Darkrai is perfectly set up, he can run at full speed. If you switch something out, Darkrai will not run at full speed, Same as with the car. If there's one tire that is not 100% perfect, then yeah, your car might not run at full speed at all times. And that's the same with the Pokemon TCG Pocket decks. Everything has to be perfectly set up. And again, it doesn't matter if you pick Darkrai or Palkia or Gyarados and your deck list is just not optimal, then the entire deck will not be optimal. And then you can just play something else, then it doesn't matter anymore. So that's why look at the factual truth, look at the facts, and play what is the best. And only then you can become a very, very good player. You will not be immediately a very good player just by copying this deck list, right? A good car, a good deck also needs a good pilot, also needs a good player. And yeah, I do not want this video to be too long. I don't want to overload this with too much information, so people can actually learn from this, without being overwhelmed. And this is just the very first, let me call it coaching session. This is just the very first step. Like, we haven't even talked about in-game stuff yet. That will come with the next videos, Maybe I will show you a little bit of my gameplay and talk over it as to what to do in certain situations, what not to do in certain situations. I have all of this already set up, so yeah, I will think this through, what and then make a decision. Like, this is just a very, very first step, you know. To some of you, this video might just been me saying, hey, play the meta, you know. And yeah, but I put emphasis on how important every single card is, and yeah, like 99% of the players should be able to take away something from this. So that's it for now. I will keep it at that to not make this video be too long, and I will continue this with and go more and more in depth and talk about more and more stuff, like thought process and different situations and yada yada. You will get the point. So yeah, if you like this kind of stuff or Pokemon TCG Pocket content in general, please consider leaving a follow on my channel. I would really appreciate it. But until next time, take care of yourselves, have a great day, and bye bye.